In today's video I'll explain to you guys how to win more reward boxes because it's way harder than many first thought, and there are numerous reasons for that. First of all, if you have many cards you come up against way harder oppositions. And I have some tips and tricks to change that, and I will go more in depth about that further on in the video. But first of all, I had a giveaway on Twitter where I said if you could beat me, Manchester United against Tottenham in Rivals, I would give away Lisandro Martinez. And unfortunately for you guys, I don't think anyone beat me. If you go here, see Rivals history, and then we go to match history. Yeah, I won 51 out of 51, but I will give away that card soon. It may be a Rivals game, so if you want, comment the match you want to challenge me in, and that could be in specific about the Lisandro Martinez card or just in general. Of course, if you want to play against me, my name is Sorare on Sorare, so you can just follow me there and then send me an invite to a matchup if you want. And yeah, going back. Now in Rivals it is a ELO system, so for example if you have 5 limited players and you play them in a rival game, we can use me as an example. If we go to my lineups, Rivals, we can go to this match, Senegal versus Gambia. I did win here, and if we go in we can see that I won by only 30 points. But here I only came up against 2 limited players, but still, if I would have put out a full common team, I would most likely come up against just limited, I mean common. If I would have put out a full common team, I would most likely come up against a full common team. And that is what Sorare is trying to do, to put the teams that you are playing against teams that are similar in terms of scarcity, not players of course. The same with Cameroon versus Guinea. This is the same stuff here. I'm playing against this guy that has 3 limited cards, I have 3 rare cards, so they try to put me against oppositions with the same scarcity cards. And yeah, I'm losing this because yeah, I subbed in 1 card because I think Mumbanga or something will come on soon because Guinea have a red card. And yeah, the reason you should learn from me is because I have done a lot of mistakes when it comes to Rivals. And just an example is I have a friend that isn't good at Sorare. We can just put it that way. And like it's hard to say that he isn't good because he hasn't put anything on Sorare. So, but he is number 1 or number 2 in the leaderboard, and that just tells you everything. He has 0 cards in his account, 0, and he is number 2. And yeah, that just shows you that having many players in your gallery doesn't matter too much. Because if you played in the beta, you know that having those extra utility cards in your gallery in limited, rare, super rare, unique did help you a lot. And before we go any further and explain how you could actually utilize this, I'm also currently having a giveaway now from Monday to Friday, and I'm currently giving away 1 card for each week for 52 weeks, and you need to just subscribe and like every single video from Monday to Friday, and also comment your Sorare username on Friday video. But coming back, if you would like to utilize this, you should probably play in the teams or the leagues you know the most of. And it doesn't matter if you don't have much or many limited, rare, super rare or unique players in your gallery, because you will go up against player with circa the same amount of scarcity cards that you have. So to be honest, I don't think it matters too much. And also when you think about it, it could be very smart if you put out a full common team and you go up against most likely another team in Arena. Keep that in mind, I'm talking about Arena now, so this won't help you in friendlies. But you will come up against a player or a person that has the same amount of common cards, and the likeliness of his likeliness, why can't I say that? like in terms of statistics, it's way more likely that you will come up against a worse player, because players that have more limited card is more likely to be better at the game. That's just common sense. So you can utilize that by just playing your common cards and playing the teams and leagues you know. An example of this could be Milan. I really like Milan, but I have 0 Milan cards on Sorare. That doesn't matter for me right now, because I know that I will most likely come up against 5 common cards, and we are on the same playing field. And the likelinesshood, there we got it, of him actually having a better team than me is very, very low, because I know a lot about Milan, and he is probably not a Sorare manager. He is most likely new to the game, because I have seen around on Twitter, and almost every single person that plays Arena with their team have a lot of players in their own gallery. But I think people will catch on this pretty soon and just use their common cards because of the matchups and against other players on Sorare. So that is one of the tips. And moving on to the more basic stuff is play the leagues you know, play the clubs you know, and also, like, this is such a basic tip, but it's so important, and that is to check your DNPs, because I have gone on that mistake so many times, and it's just a simple example here. Yeah, Senegal versus Gambia, I played with a full rare team, but I didn't check Pape Matar, unfortunately. So that is one of the reasons why I could have actually lost to this guy. He had a team with 5 starters, and he of course substituted one of the attackers for Nicholas Jackson. Yeah, that was very unfortunate, because he missed a big chance, and Koulibaly would have gotten an assist, and that would have meant that I would have done a lot better, and I could potentially get a very, very good reward for the video you most likely watched yesterday. So yeah, and also in general, I feel like the Rivals is such a fun like addition to Sorare, and yeah, as I said before, you don't need to have any rare cards or limited cards or super rare cards or unique cards, because one of my friends that have almost never played Sorare before, he just plays it for fun here and there, is on 2nd place in my friend's leaderboard, and that says a lot. That says very, very much, because that shouldn't be the case, but it's so fun that is actually the case, because you don't need to have a big gallery to do well in Rivals. It's an ELO system, and you compete against yourself to get those arena boxes, and this is just so unfortunate that I'm 1 win away to getting 3 consecutive wins in Arena, and then I need to go again, because now I will most likely lose against this guy here in Rivals, unless something special happens here, and for example Faris Mungba gets subbed on, but I don't think that will happen. That was just a pretty stupid idea of me. The only reason is because he plays at a Norwegian club, Bodø/Glimt, so it was fun if he came on and scored. But yeah, and also in terms of strategies, we can just go to upcoming games. We can, for example, make a team. I want to make a team where I know a little bit of them. Let's take Morocco against Tanzania. I have some rare cards here, so I will just use them because I think it's fun to get that bonus, and it's also fun to come up against players with also another scarcity bonuses on their card, because then I know that they actually try to do well in Rivals. And for me personally, I play Rivals for fun, and that is also why I want to come up against good managers, and that is also why I almost only play the matches I have some rare or limited cards in, because that is in many cases the teams I know the most of. And I will just build this team pretty fast, and I think I almost have a full starter lineup with players I already have in the club on Sorare, like limited or rare players. Aguerd has too high L15. Okay, so I need to go down a little bit. Let's take... we can take... okay, this is quite tough actually. We can take... yeah, it doesn't matter for the video. Let's just take Selim Amala. It doesn't matter at all actually, because I will just show you this. For example, let's captain Roman Saiz. And here we have the tactics. And this is some of the most important things to get an edge over your opponent, especially if you only play with common cards. I feel even that is way important in, for example, now when I have 3 rare cards, but even in, like, I mean, especially when you have only common cards, those 10 points, those 20 points, those 40 points can be the differential of you winning or losing, because the percentage bonuses on the cards are on 0. But yeah, let's start with tiki-taka. Morocco could dominate Tanzania, but I have watched the AFCON and I don't see like the teams building up that play that you see in Premier League. For example, Manchester City, they play a little bit different football, if you know what I'm talking about. But if you know that your team, and for example Manchester City, you should play tiki-taka almost every single time, in my opinion though. But also most managers will do it, so if you want to be different you could go for something else. One contest, I don't think I will take that, because I have one defensive midfielder, one midfielder, and also one defender. Of course you need one defender, but I don't think I will win a lot of contests because I have a pretty defensive team. And take this into consideration when you make your own teams, because this is also very self-explanatory. Shot on goal, that is another reason for, as I mentioned earlier, that I won't go for this with this team, because I only have one forward option and 2 players that are midfielders, and one of them are very, very defensive. So I think this is one of the worst options to go for with this team. Park the Bus is probably one of the best ones here, because we have, but not, no, I actually don't think so, because I think Morocco will be very dominant. So Park the Bus isn't good here as well, but we have a lot of defensive players. But if, for example, Morocco were against Senegal, that could be a very good option. I think Gegenpress could be very interesting for this team, because I think players like Roman Saiz, Soufiane Amrabat, this midfielder right here that I don't know too much about, but of course if he would have been like a box-to-box or a center defensive midfielder, and also Youssef En-Nesyri is an attacker that wins a lot of duels, I think gegenpressing is the perfect option here, in my opinion. And this is just an example that you need to analyze your team and look at the tactics and try to think about the tactics that fit the team the best. That is also very self-explanatory, but the most important thing is to understand what these type of difference mean in game, what that does. And because I've seen some people just picking randomly and not thinking about it, but especially if you just play with common cards, that could be the difference between you winning with 10 points or losing with 30 points. So yeah, I think that was it for today's video. Do you want to see more Rivals content? If I get better at Rivals, I can maybe have a Rivals rewards box opening and just try to win as many Rivals reward boxes, and when I have won like 5 or 10 boxes, I could maybe have a video about that. If that sounds interesting, leave it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye and take care. Peace.